Hi everyone, Namita here from Ramesh and Namita, and I'm here to show you some of the details of our big cross-country trip road adventure earlier this summer. If you're interested in how we planned our sights and stops, keep watching. If you just want to see some highlights from this trip, we also have a video on that you can check out. So we start off on day one, picking up our van rental from Canada Dream in Brampton, just outside of Toronto. One of the first things we did was try to pick up some drive-through McDonald's and realize you can't fit an RV into drive-thrus. So we had to backtrack a bit and walk in instead. We started out pretty late on day one, so we only drove about 230 kilometers up to Parry Sound and decided to stay overnight at the Walmart there. We picked up additional groceries and drinking water for our trip from here as well. Most Walmarts will let you park there overnight, but you should check with someone in the store just to be sure. Day two, and we set off from Parry Sound from our beautiful parking spot at Walmart. We got started out early and we knew that we had a long day of driving ahead of us. So we continued on further northwest, stopping along the way to see the Chutes Provincial Park. We had our lunch in the RV and then went on a short hike to see some waterfalls. For our Ontario leg of the trip, we actually didn't have any campsites booked at all, and our plan was to boondock or free camp as much as possible. This was back when things were just starting to open up again after a long provincial shutdown due to the pandemic. By the end of day two, we had driven another 550 kilometers. We stopped along the way to fill up our water tank in Sault Ste. Marie and chose an absolutely beautiful Crown Land camping spot a bit further north, right on Lake Superior. Just an absolutely gorgeous sunset. We found the spot through the iOverlander app, which is an app you can use to find boondocking spots. I had several bookmarked across our route, so we would have a potential campsite no matter how far we were able to drive that day. Day three, and we knew we had another long day ahead of us. We wanted to take our chance to see as many sites as we could while we were in Northern Ontario, not knowing when we would have another chance to drive through these parts again. It was truly a mix of beautiful natural scenery and kitschy small town charm. Our stops included Lake Superior's Old Woman Bay, seeing the Wawa Goose, not pictured, the Winnie the Pooh Memorial, hiking the beach trail at Puckasaw National Park, and Aguasabon waterfalls. One great thing about living the van life is that if you find a really nice pullover spot, you could basically just make yourself a cup of coffee. You got your kitchen on the go with you. Our goal for day three was to get as close to the city of Thunder Bay as we could. After another day of driving about 500 kilometers in total, we decided to stop at Herket Cove, just an hour shy of Thunder Bay. This was again a spot we found on the iOverlander app. This one was actually a boat dock with some abandoned old boats. It had a beautiful view as well, despite the rain. Day four, and we headed out of our boating dock and back to the highway to continue onwards on our journey. We stopped just outside of Thunder Bay to see the Terry Fox Memorial as well. Terry Fox was a Canadian athlete and activist. In 1980, with one leg having been amputated due to cancer, he embarked on an east to west cross-Canada run to raise money and awareness for cancer research. This memorial marks the spot he was able to reach on his journey before having to stop due to the progression of his disease. We wanted this day to be more of a rest day with less driving. So just past Thunder Bay, we saw the beautiful Kakabeka Falls and did a hike. The village nearby had a lovely little coffee shop as well. From there, we continued on further west towards our next boondock spot, pretty much in the middle of nowhere. This was a surprisingly pretty highway truck stop next to a lake. There were some other camper vans here as well. There was really nothing else in the area. It really was in the middle of nowhere. In total, we drove about 270 kilometers on day 4. On day 5, we made our way over to Kenora, which is just by the border of Ontario. In fact, this is our last stop before we cross over into Manitoba. On the drive over, we decided to book a fully serviced campsite in an actual campground for the night. Once here, we were able to just relax and check out the town of Kenora. We also really enjoyed the campground where we stayed, the Anishinaabe RV Park. After quite a few days of boondocking, this was our chance to plug into electricity and dump our tanks and refill our water, so we could really enjoy the RV to the fullest. Ontario is a huge province. It took us until day 6 to get from Toronto to the Manitoba border. Of course, we did stop a lot along the way, and we really took our time to enjoy Northern Ontario while we were there. So that was part 1 of our cross-Canada RV trip. We drove 1,855 kilometers in total from our starting point, boondocking all the way across Ontario. In part 2, we are going to go check out Manitoba and Saskatchewan, so join us there.